it's all shit that has nothing to do with this.
Yeah,
But I don't see preferences anywhere.
okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna have to. I'll log in on your account later. We'll deal with your background now. It's not that big of a deal. How are you doing, man? How was your week?
I'll tell you what. I started the week. Well, actually, the end of last week. I took my mom to see Big Ben's last game. It was supposed to be his last game, and
I wanted that game to end in a tie so bad.
yeah. But watching him, I mean, it just what a pro he is, and he ain't got it anymore. And but he just gets it done. And guys like
Did it remind you of your last fight with Mike?
it reminded me of my last fight with Mike, but more
Yeah.
so, it reminds me of guys that are great, that reach a pinnacle, that are able to bullshit 2, 3, 4 more years at the very top of the game. You know,
Yeah.
it's just it's amazing. It's amazing because he clearly doesn't have it. He's beat up. You just don't have it. You know, but he gets it done, and it's beautiful.
He was the best college quarterback I've ever seen at Miami of Ohio. I used to watch Miami of Ohio games. Don't ask me why, because I was mesmerized by him. And he came into the NFL. I'm like, that guy's going to be a star. Now I think Joe Burrow is arguably better than Big Ben from what I saw in Joe Burrow in college.
Yeah.
And I think Joe Burrow will, barring injury, probably surpass Big Ben. But those are the two best college quarterbacks I've seen. Vic was the most exciting. Manziel was also exciting, but Burrow and Big Ben are the two. But Byron Leftwich was a fucking hell of a college.
I was trying to think of his name, and like there was another real big college quarterback that I remember, and who was like
Drew Bledsoe.
what? Where were they?
Drew Bledsoe was Washington State.
But where was Leftwich?
He was at Marshall.
That's right. Okay.
And he was a monster in college.
Just a monster, like scary. You know?
He played with a broken leg. He fucking carried that shit over his shoulder.
Hey, Patrick.
Ran down there and threw a fucking touchdown pass.
My fucking man. How you doing, man?
What's up?
I feel like I haven't talked to you in a long time.
Fucking exhausted, man. I gotta say, I'm dead tired. I was debating whether I was even gonna call in.
Yeah, but you don't have COVID anymore. You were fucking sick last time we saw you. I had COVID last time I did the show. But
hey, Patrick, if the mood seems a little down when you came in, me and Eric just basically went through the equivalent of like a couple session, fucking going through this bullshit and talking about this border and background and everything else. It really tested our friendship. So we'll be back. I'm glad you're back. I'm glad you're here to lighten the mood.
Yeah,
liberal Pat.
We're trying to get Jimmy to get his background squared away, so we don't have to look at the Smurf background. But it looks like this might just be part of our lore. Where's your mask tonight?
Mine?
You should. What are you in the bathroom?
You should be double masked in your house.
Hey, let me tell you something. You want to know something?
Go ahead.
I just caught a flashback to what Jimmy's bedroom looked like back in the day.
Oh, you're gonna go there?
The bathroom. You better keep your eyes peeled on the ground because you could easily step on just about anything.
That was part of his training. It was his footwork training.
Anything from a condom to a switchblade.
Shit was everywhere.
Do you have any switchblades currently? I have a switchblade right outside. My daughter brought it to me the other day and handed it to me and was like, "I have a great video of it." And I go, "Oh, that's sweet, honey. What do you got there?" She popped the thing.
Oh,
up.
she found it.
Well, yeah. No, it's I use it for everything. Like that's my upstairs. That's my upstairs utility knife. It's funny because back in the day, a switchblade used to be intimidating. snap. But really, it's just a fucking.
If you pull out a switchblade,
knife.
you got to be crazy these days. You get your head blown off.
Yeah, you get shot. Down here in Florida, 1 out of every 6 or 7 people has a concealed weapons permit.
You're just better off walking away.
Yeah, you're better off walking away. One of my favorite things as a kid, you guys ever have that switchblade hairbrush? When I was like in the 4th grade, I'd walk around, snap.
Oh, sure.
Hairbrush.
What about those Chinese?
I had those.
The fan that used to swing open.
Big time. And actually, I got to tell you, I'm still a fan of those things because
I like those. They fucking work.
They work. The Japanese and that culture, they do some things we don't do. That they do some things right over there. They do some weird, fucked up things with like jerking off to anime and stuff.
That's bizarre. They live longer and they look good longer, and I mean they got some sort of secret. Their
education system is pretty good.
They're medical.
I mean, whatever they do over there, they're very smart.
Yeah, their entire country is radioactive, and they're outliving us here in America. So their country's radioactive because of us and because of Fukushima. You know, the whole meltdown. They're still, but they actually, if you ever see a Japanese family, they protect those babies. They like cover them with the son and the baby. That you would think that baby's a vampire. They're like, oh shit, don't let the son touch the baby. The baby's gonna, like a gremlin, it's gonna fucking turn to dust if something touches it.
You know what's weird about Chinese or whatever Asian babies is
what all those babies. Yes.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Asian, and you either get one that looks normal or one that's ugly as fuck.
Asian and black people, when they have babies,
I knew you were going to bring that up. I know.
They're the best babies. They should literally just have an Asian and black dating site. I'm talking about pure Asian. Pure Asian. Oh no, listen, some of the Koreans are the
I identify as
they either look normal or they're like look. I mean, I remember this guy at the Chinese restaurant one time. He was a waiter, and I swear to God, he looked like one of those things from Men in Black. You know what I mean? And what the fuck am I even talking about? Never mind.
Talking about banging Asian. So you and I went to Falls Church.
I'm just saying. If you're Asian, you're gonna look fucking normal, and you're not gonna stand out. But if you do, you're gonna be a train wreck.
Patrick, you're going to appreciate this because you and I grew up in the same area. So when I went to high school, it was a lot of Vietnamese people. The first 2 girls that I ever slept with were Vietnamese. And when you're young, you don't know what you are sexually. You're like, you have no idea. You're entering a world of fornication, and you don't know that there's certain experiences. Now,
I knew what the fuck I was. What are you talking about, Bean?
Well, here's the part that got a little weird about the Asians. Okay, so the first couple times I had sex, the first 3 times I had sex were with Vietnamese women in public, in front of people. So the first time I had sex was in a bunk bed with my best friend and his girlfriend on the top. The second time was at a party in front of a bunch of people, and the third time was in a field, where anybody could watch, and all with Vietnamese women. And I sat there and said, Jesus, is this what I do? Am I a Vietnamese public fucker? Like I fuck in front of other people, but only Vietnamese women. So I thought at that time, I'm like, Jesus, I'm a Vietnamese public fucker. That's what I am. That's what I do. So, and then finally, things moved forward, and, I had sex in a regular way at some point, but at some point I just thought I was, kind of a public fucking Vietnamese guy. That's
Please, Beans.
Yeah.
Please push that button, the Billy Madison button. You got to push it.
Telling these little stories. Here's a good idea. Have a Makes it so much more interesting for the listener.
That's not to Billy Madison, but
That was the worst. That was the most. What does he say? That was the most stupidest answer I've ever heard. We were now dumber.
Yeah,
Right.
that's exactly what it was.
yeah, no, you guys can say that, but at that age, you're very confused. You don't quite know, what's going on. And if you have a first, few experiences in front of other people, that's pretty unusual to break your virginity in a public way. And it's pretty unusual for your next thing to be in front of a party of 30 people. And
Yeah, I don't
then
get that.
Beans.
So
we
I
already,
just
we already put it.
This
we already put it in the
explains
closet.
it.
We
Yeah, but-
already put it in the closet. We're not talking about this shit.
Yeah, I'm sure you. What was your first experience, Jimmy? What was your? Where did you break your virginity? And
I wouldn't have the class as low as a gutter rat to tell that.
Well, then that's boring.
I'm the 4-year-old virgin.
Go ahead.
But I'll tell the second one.
All right.
No.
What a nice guy.
Are you
Class guy.
Are you trying to respect your cousin or something on number one?
Gotta respect that.
You gotta respect your family
Your
members.
step cousin.
God damn.
He shoots, he scores. I feel like that's
Rim shot.
I feel like going Antonio Brown off the back of the end.
Savor that, Beans. Savor the flavor.
So let's talk about Antonio Brown real quick. I'm down in Tampa. Did you guys see what the fuck he did on the football field when he quit the game the other day?
I love him.
I mean, it is what it is.
What do you mean it is what it is and I love him? Like, what do you guys know about what happened there?
I don't. I don't know but
I don't think anybody
give a-
knows.
I don't give a shit whether he was right or wrong. The motherfucker did what he wanted to do, and a lot of people can't say that.
So
But you wouldn't respect that if that was your teammate.
So
No.
we're talking about sexual
He's not
stuff.
my teammate. He's not my teammate.
I know.
He's an entertainer, and he's been more entertaining than any other football player this season.
That's
any
fair.
Other, any other football player this season?
That's fair.
Who else?
What do you mean? Who else? They're the fucking Jefferson, Mixon, Burrow. People putting up records.
Aaron Rodgers is
Aaron Rodgers has been entertaining as fuck. He's been bantering with the media like a cat fucks with a little ball. Pop, pop, pop.
Great.
Pop, pop,
That's what they're supposed to do. That's fun to watch.
Yeah.
A side soap opera is even funner to watch. Now,
No.
Let me make something clear. I'm talking about how I choose to view the NFL. All right. So a lot of people would disagree and they'd be right. But I choose to view the NFL. And it's the same thing. I mean, people do it in politics. They love to watch the show. And they don't even really have a side. They just like watching. I love to watch sports. And a lot of times I don't even have a side. I just like to watch the spectacle.
He's more popular once he did that. I mean, that guy's probably getting contracts
Yeah.
for other things,
he
not
did
for
an
football.
offer.
Nobody's going to want him on a football field.
Actually, one person did. They wanted him to play in like the other professional league, not the NFL. And
Yeah, he would probably tear it up.
He went on the podcast and said, this guy that I've known for a long time offered me a job. Go fuck yourself. And so he basically.
I'm going to say this about him. I don't think he's the smartest apple in the barrel. I mean, he is not that intelligent.
He's
My
lost
whole-
his fucking. He's lost his.
He's
fucking
talking like a dummy when I hear him talk.
No, but now listen.
Yeah.
But there's a ton of those guys.
I know.
A lot of those guys, somewhere in that journey, they get smart. And
I believe it.
that and they change their ways, and they're able to capitalize on their craziness, but still go forward.
You're
Well,
right.
You
Good
guys
call.
actually know the Antonio Brown, what happened the night before? Have you guys heard any of that yet?
With the chick?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I read about whatever that shit was, but I mean, I'm not a, big gossip person. She kind of threw him under the bus.
She did, but here was the interesting part is, first of all, like, this girl is, she's a very pretty girl. He's sitting in his hotel on, and NFL makes you quarantine on the road. So you're not allowed to bang chicks officially on the road. The first thing that was fascinating to me is just how easy this was for him. He sent a text and said, "Hey, I'm in town. Hey,
I saw this."
And then he talked and said, "Hey, I'm sitting in the hotel room. You coming through or what? You coming through or what?" He did that probably 4 times. And then she's like, "Yeah, my friends have released me and I'm coming over." I was like, holy shit, things are so fucking easy for a professional athlete. And I was very fucking impressed. And then I found out that she got famous for licking a toilet seat to get COVID. And I said, Jesus, I'm not quite as impressed anymore. She's literally famous for licking a toilet
but
seat.
I don't understand.
Class. That's class right there.
I don't understand.
ALASSY.
Hey now.
Hey now.
What I don't understand is what's wrong with that. I'm not talking about morals and everything else. I'm talking about just how does that incriminate him in any way? That he got a piece of ass?
No, I was impressed with how easy it was to get a high quality, like a very pretty girl, and then I was very much less impressed by the fact that she licked the toilet seat. So it's just kind of a juxtaposition of class.
We have such an unbelievable view into these people's lives. Go talk to Joe Namath. Talk about the shit he used to do.
Oh, he's got one of the greatest pickup line scenes in history on TV.
I mean, those guys back in the day, they didn't have this camera in their lives, and they would, believe me, just as bad, if not worse.
Oh, well, Joe Namath, the moment he did get a camera on himself, he became famous.
He had too much to drink.
He had too much to drink, man. I mean, or too little.
But you know what? That got him sober, because I think that humiliated him so bad that it made him change, if I'm not mistaken. Didn't he get stopped drinking after that?
I think he did, Patrick.
He was so embarrassed.
And I think he made a mistake. I think his game was strong that night. Well, here it is.
My point is,
hold on, Jimmy.
We got the audio of Joe Namath. Oh, this is my favorite clip ever. He's like, I couldn't care less about the teams.
Impresses them. He's a quality.
What impresses you about Chad?
I believe everything that anyone else has watched Chad play impresses me. The same thing impresses them. He's a quality, classy quarterback that has a touch on the football. He's not a thrower, he's a passer. His mind is ahead of what the defense is, and if the Jets can support him, they will win the championship.
So it's been a tough season for Jet fans. What does it mean to do it now when the team is struggling?
I couldn't care less about the team struggling. What we know is
that's fucked up.
It's not fucked up at all. That my man went straight.
He had too much to drink. I mean, he just had too much to drink. Talking out of his ass.
Big fucking deal. It's uncanny, the resemblance. He talks exactly like you do, Beans.
Oh, I'm sure he does. I want to, Jimmy. I want to kiss you. I want to kiss you. I don't care what's going on in the podcast. I just want to kiss you.
Well, I want that kiss. I want it. So I'm on my way, baby.
Hey, you know what that made me think of?
What?
The all-time best interview, which is James Brown.
You got a mustache? You got a mustache?
I couldn't grow a mustache if I tried. Yeah.
No, Patrick.
Yeah, a little bit. I guess.
Oh, there you go. Oh, yeah, you look good.
You know what mustache, what's a weird thing is that you cannot do a Hitler mustache, even though it's the Charlie Chaplin mustache. The fucking mustache is ruined for life. Charlie Chaplin had it first, and it was money as fuck. and then Hitler came along, and
Comes
now
with that.
Who's the guy that had it? Who's the guy that put it on? Like recently, he had a Hitler mustache and didn't realize it.
oh, I'm sure he realized it. You can't accident.
How do you not realize it?
They actually have they actually call certain vaginal cuts of the Hitler mustache down there because nobody will put it on their face anymore forever. I'm wondering how many more years until somebody brings that shit back, because trends do come back.
I don't see that one coming back.
It could. If I could grow a mustache, I'd grow the Hitler right back and just say it's not the mustache's fault. It's just not the fault of the stash. I'm not trying to be like Hitler. I'm trying to be like Charlie Chaplin.
You know what's even cooler is that Mexican haircut where you just like shave your whole head except you leave like a little patch up front or a little patch in the back. Fuck it, just go with that. That's even better.
I
what
love
are you talking about? That's not even in the same fucking atmosphere as the Hitler mustache. The fucking Hitler
mustache is out of the question. Can't do it.
The mullet, it needs to come back. The
mullet, if you have a mullet right now, actually, I think you are like pretty fucking cool. I mean, there was a football player in one of these college games, and he took his helmet off. He was a quarterback, and he had like a perfect mullet. And the announcer said something about it. They're like, "Wow, look at his head of hair." It was serious.
Yeah. We had a guest on the show that had the coolest rat tail I've ever seen. John Scully. That rat tail was money as fuck when he had it.
How long is his rat tail?
It was beautiful. My goodness. It was like because John's white as fuck, but when he had that rat tail on and he had that, he looked like a Latin fighter. It was weird.
Yeah.
It transformed him from being a white guy to being like a white Latino, like George Zimmerman, but with a badass.
That guy, where's he been? Is he in jail?
Scully's out of jail. George Zimmerman's. No, I'm kidding. Yeah. I kid. George Zimmerman, I think he's probably. Jesus, what the fuck? Usually he is in the news for like.
He usually should. He usually jumps into the mix. Occasionally, one of the news stories and throws his opinion around, but he might be in jail. We haven't heard from him.
I think he disappeared into the state of Florida.
Nobody's heard from him.
Nobody knows what happened to him. He came into that joint that night, and then
he sold the gun that killed Trayvon Martin for like hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yeah, talk about a fucking
that's pathetic.
Clown ass fucking pathetic move.
That's a pretty good move.
It's pathetic. It's also pathetic whoever would buy it.
Oh, come on. My bid was turned down. That was some bullshit. I bid $5 and these motherfuckers overbid me. No, it's very weird to want a gun that was used to kill.
Yeah, you're right. That's pretty fucking weird. You got to be something weird.
You have to be a little wrong there. I mean, I would take some memorabilia from like the Kennedy assassination. I'd probably,
that's interesting shit. That's historical. I mean,
I'd take a piece of the Phantom bullet. Like if they were to put up the magic bullet that became the thing and said, "Hey, you want 10 grand for the magic?"
That was what's his face?
I'd buy that.
The senator of Pennsylvania came up with that nonsense.
That bullshit story. Anytime you have to hear the magic bullet.
Listen. Yeah, as soon as if you hear the word magic in front of the bullet, it just like magically came from nowhere.
This bullet magically came from nowhere, went through multiple people, ricocheted off multiple people, shot multiple people, and ended up in a place and is perfectly intact. It's okay.
That whole story from the Warren Commission is complete fucking nonsense.
Yeah, everything about the Warren Commission was complete nonsense. So, what do you think?
All the important stuff was not brought up.
Everything wasn't brought up. I mean, the CIA had created, so they were like they were basically blaming. God, why can't I remember his fucking name? Who's the guy who shot Kennedy again?
Oswald.
Okay, so they're blaming Oswald. They're like, yeah, he's part of a pro-Cuban group. Well, the CIA set up that pro-Cuban group. And they also set up the anti-Cuban group that was part of the thing. They were both CIA ops.
They were playing both sides the whole time, just like the mafia of the Cuban crisis. They were giving money to the rebels and backing Batista because they wanted to hedge their bets.
They just wanted to start a war.
Look,
they wanted to start a war. They wanted to start a war with Cuba. They were like willing to let 60 million lives here in the United States go. They didn't care.
Look, what's the chances that a mob guy gets into a police station and shoots the assassin dead on television a day later after he kills the president, and people saying, "Oh, that was just a patriotic guy who wanted to kill him because he was upset." Get the fuck out of here.
What's the chance of a mob guy who's being involved with this having the power to pull Secret Service agents off of the president's car right before he's shot? So if you watch the earlier video, there's actually Secret Service agents that were supposed to be stationed on the back of the bumper. They were called off, and they're sitting there going, "What the fuck? Why am I being called off?" They're like, "No, come back." It was clearly a government plot to kill Kennedy, and they did it, and then they put a patsy in place. And as soon as Oswald got busted, he started screaming, "I'm a patsy! I didn't do it! I'm a patsy!" And he was.
It's a lot bigger than me. He said it's a lot bigger than me. You don't want to know. Oh no, that was what's his face who killed Oswald. He said it's a lot bigger than me.
Ruby killed him, and then they probably pumped up some of that cancer cell shit in him. Ruby passed from cancer in like record time. He had like a 6-month bout of stage 5 that they hit him with. The same shit they were trying to kill Castro with. They were like, "Hey, let's see if this Castro shit really works. Let's just spray some on Jack Ruby." But the good news is that nobody was ever found guilty and nothing bad happened to any of these people that killed our old president. So I'm sure it's never happening.
And nobody ever talks about the cop that got shot, who got murdered after the president was shot. There was a cop who cornered Oswald. I believe Oswald was a shooter. I mean, I think he pulled a trigger somewhere in the building where the gun was, but he wasn't the only one. There's nobody that can shoot that fast.
Yeah, I don't know if he did or didn't. It might have been, but some of the evidence points that they said he shot from the 6th floor, and the cop on the 2nd floor ran into him. Who knows what type of operation they had, but certainly no chance in hell was he the only shooter. Whether he was a shooter or not, they actually never even had fingerprints on the gun, man, which is weird. They had no physical evidence tying Oswald to that gun. They had what they call a partial print, which means nothing. It means we have no evidence tying this man.
They had the picture of him holding the rifle, but how could you make that was the same rifle as the one the exact same model or whatever?
There was much fuckery. There was more fuckery on the autopsy for Kennedy than there was on Epstein.
Oh, they just took the fucking brains out and put other things in. I think
they actually put the funniest part. So Kennedy's brains were. I mean, it's funny now, right? It was like funny, not haha funny, but like funny. Like you got to be. How stupid do you think we are? Funny. They took Kennedy's brains and they weigh them during an autopsy. His brains were spattered everywhere. They actually took an old formaldehyde brain and weighed another brain, and the brain came out larger in mass than a normal brain because they faked the brain. Like, really? You're not even gonna? That's how stupid they think everybody is. The whole brain spattered. We're just gonna take an old ass brain, throw it up there. It's a big ass brain. Man, Kennedy was super smart. The brain was bigger than Marilyn Monroe's titties and ass. That was a big ass formaldehyde brain. And that's actually another digression, though, is think about back then. Marilyn Monroe was the hottest thing in the world. And right now, she'd be a fat chick.
Yeah.
In the meantime, all the guys back then were skinny and in shape. and now all the guys are like bigger.
Who do you think killed Marilyn Monroe?
Oh shit, dude! I don't know. That's a good question. What do you think?
Maybe the same people that killed Sonny Liston.
Yeah, I mean, what's the theory on that, Patrick? I haven't looked into the Marilyn Monroe shooting as much, or I'm sorry, the Marilyn murder as much as I have.
But they see overdosed, right, on something, heroin or something. But I think just the mob, maybe. But I don't. I'm just totally speculating. I have no idea. But I think.
Do you think it was the mob, or do you think it was because a whole shitload of witnesses?
She was also involved with the Kennedy brothers, both of them.
Well, she was
involved with both brothers. Bobby probably was. I could see it coming from Bobby having to get rid of her.
Well, most of these, a whole shitload of witnesses from the Kennedy shooting went bye-bye. So maybe she was considered to be a person who knew a little bit too much about what Kennedy's inner thoughts were.
Could have been anything. She could have been pregnant. I mean, who knows?
Yeah, who knows? It could have been, and it could have been an accident. Who knows?
Well, what do you think about? Why do you think that the body style of what's attractive has changed so dramatically over 50 years? That's not a long period of time. I mean, that's basically our lifetime.
I don't know. Could it be that we're just inundated with those
images and shit?
Yeah. Society calls perfect images. Maybe.
What's your ideal girl, Jimmy? Give me your height and weight right now. Boom. Like height, weight.
5'7". I really don't care. It's got to be the personality.
Oh, come on. Fuck that. No, I'm asking you for physical.
Face. It's got to be a pretty face.
Quit that horse shit personality bullshit. Quit being a fucking, what's wrong with me? I'm a little bit, I care too much. I care a little too much. No, what's your ideal physical? 5'7". How much weight? Like between 110 and 150?
5'8", 135.
Oh yeah, you like them a little bit, but what ethnicity? You like a white girl? You like a little girl? You like an African? What do you like?
Them all. I like them all.
5'8", 135. That's pretty thick, man. That's a big bitch. All right, Patrick, what about you?
I like them petite.
Jimmy described Tina Turner, by the way.
Maybe.
What do you, all right, Patrick? Ideal height, ideal height.
I don't give a shit. I mean, shorter than me. I'm gonna want to have somebody taller than me, but I wouldn't care that either. Really.
What's your height? What are you like? 6 foot?
5'10".
It's 5'10". Okay. So shorter. Okay.
So she's got to be like, I would say maybe 5'5", 5'6", 5'7".
Hey,
I like Vietnamese girls that fuck in public. That's what I like. Goes back to the original.
Hey, tell us some of your Vietnamese girls fucking in public stories.
Eric, I'm going to give you somebody to look up. Absolute gorgeous face. I don't even know what, just sexy as shit. Ronnie Spector. No, Ronnie Spector.
Oh, Ronnie Spector. Hell yeah. Fuck yeah.
A girl named Ronnie is suspect to me. It sounds like an Italian from Jersey.
Well,
Ronnie
Ronettes.
Spector. Well, I was fighting with people over Dwayne Wade's cunt wife. Man, fuck that.
Here's what I'm
Ronnie Spector. Jesus Christ, that's a feather-headed bitch. Oh, I need to find this on the thing. Ronnie Spector.
Be nice, Eric. We lost her today, and she is one of the absolute greats.
We lost. What do you mean we lost her today?
She passed away. Away.
Today?
Yep.
She was married to that fucking maniac, Phil Spector.
Well, wait a second. She is pretty. I got a picture on my phone with my sunglasses on. Yeah, she's beautiful. What do you mean she passed away?
She just died today.
Let me think of another one to say.
Met her and saw her perform in New York probably 10 years ago, maybe.
It was a bit more, so that would have put her at 65, 66.
It must have been 15 years ago.
No. no, I know exactly. It was right there, 12 years.
Okay.
Because Daniela was with us,
Oh, that's right.
so it was right there, and
It's
yeah,
good you
man,
have a mile marker there.
she just killed. She just killed it, and obviously she faded at the end, and kind of, goddamn, 78 years old. What do you expect? But what a killer, man! Just
The
and the
Christmas album, probably one of the greatest albums out there. Just in general. I mean,
yeah.
got to be one of the most played albums. Everybody's heard it.
Everybody's heard. People have heard
It-
"Be My Little." I mean, look at
Be
the other guy.
be my little baby.
Eddie Money took and made a song famous just for that song, for that saying. You know, what I mean, she said it 3 times in the song. You know, what I mean, the song went to the top. So I mean, she's a staple, man. I hate to lose her.
Yeah, that's sad.
Give us a song, Eric.
I kept thinking she's saying, she's sure the boy I love, but it's not.
No, that's Darling Love.
Darling Love, yeah. Very similar though.
Yeah, yeah. Now she said,
The Crystals.
"Be My Little Baby." I don't know, dude. Frosty the Snowman. As good
What
as
did
you get.
what did she die of? Ronnie.
Frosty the Blowman.
Frosty the Snowman. The Crystals sing that is as good as you get.
Do you know what she?
Hey, Jimmy.
No, I don't know what she died. I don't know what she died of.
I was just in the bathroom
Natural causes, maybe.
about how full of shit the two of you are. Like talking about how you knew exactly what you were sexually. Do you guys remember putting on the first condom you ever
You
put
know
on?
what I'd like you know what I'd like you to
How
do, Eric?
awkward that was.
You know what I'd like to do, like you to do, Eric, because I want to get back to that condom question. Would you please take a deep dive on Phil Spector, so we can all learn some stuff sometime?
He's a total fucking nutcase.
Yeah,
But he must have been good at something because he produced these tremendous albums.
Because I'd like to learn more than I know. I'd like to kick that side. I think it's a fascinating subject.
Yeah, I've never given a shit about celebrities in general, but I do know that Phil Spector has kind of an interesting story. So I will, because I don't know it well. I know he kind of lost his mind, right?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I don't think he ever had his mind, but I think he went overboard, lost his mind at the end.
Who is your least favorite celebrity, Jimmy? Like, give me some people you hate.
Oh, that's a good question.
And I say the word hate. You know, the word hate is a hard word. I mean,
Don't let me forget.
Some people you despise, some people that you would like to, in an ideal world, just line up and, maybe.
You asked me a question earlier about the condom. Don't let me forget about that.
Yeah, the first time you put on a how awkward it was.
I have a very negative feeling
Hate
for Barack Obama.
Oh, I love Barack Obama. He's my favorite. Every time I take a shit, I say I'm going to take an Obama.
I feel like he's
so much.
I feel like he's extremely arrogant, and things that I've heard from people that do know. I just don't like the stories I've heard. Who else?
Wait, what stories have you? I don't have any personal stories. I mean, all I know is the man. I was a huge fan of his when I first heard him talk. I was like, wow.
I was too.
And hope, the man, eloquent, gorgeous, gave this beautiful, impassioned speech, hope and stuff. What stories have you heard? I mean, I have other reasons to feel positively about our former president and his.
You know who crushed me?
What?
You know who crushed me?
Let's find another celebrity that you just. Yeah.
Okay. I don't despise him. I'm just have no use for him. And he was probably way up on almost to the top of my list. I just love this guy, and it's Hulk Hogan.
And you don't like Hulk anymore.
I just I don't hate I don't not like him. I just don't care about it. You know what I mean? I saw him treat some people just way out of line, and it just really disappointed me, and it wasn't.
I can see that, but I mean, Hulk's kind of as a professional wrestler, a gruff fucker. I guess you kind of, I don't know. You can't really expect somebody at that level to at some point to be sweet all the time. I mean, he would.
No, you can't. No, he was a little extra aggressive, and with his words.
Like what it would call somebody a name, like attack somebody. What happened? Like give a fucking story, you prick.
Okay, fuckface.
Tell the story.
We were when we were in Vegas. He was at the final fight in Vegas, and I had won, and me and Mickey Ward were kind of just walking. I don't know what we were doing, but we saw Hogan walking in with a bunch of people, and fucking Mickey went ape shit. Like he's like, "Oh, it's the Hulk step," I'm like, "Holy shit, that is Hulk," So we went, straight at him, and rightfully so. Somebody kind of just stepped in front of him, and then they like as publicists or something, and I said, "Hey, it's Mickey Ward. He wants to shake hands with the Hulk," and so this guy knew Mickey already anyway, and so
there was no mystery as to who Mickey Ward was or was not.
Yeah. I mean, there might have been to Hulk Hogan because he's so far up in that stratosphere.
Well, I was going to say he's probably a wrestling fan, maybe not so much a boxing fan.
So, and so he turns and he says, "Hey, it's Mickey Ward. He wanted to shake your hand." And Hogan just says, "Fuck that motherfucker." And just kept walking. And I just thought, all you got to do is shake the fucking hand. You know what I mean? This is a guy
Was that Mickey Ward you said?
Yeah, Hulk Hogan was afraid of COVID back in 1988.
I'll tell you one thing. If Mickey Ward landed a punch on him, he would knock him on his fucking ass like he'd never been hit before, probably.
And he sure would. But I mean, this is a guy who, just like me, grew up with the fucking Hulkster. And you meet him and you're in your own element and everything's good, and he treats you like that. I don't think you do that to.
Yeah, it's one of those disappointing moments. These are heroes. With wrestling too, you and I both know when we grew up at that era, there was a period of time where we thought wrestling was 100% real, meaning
right.
Like it, and when we were told it wasn't, we were like, "Come on, shut the fuck up!" Sort of like, like, you gotta be kidding me. This is clearly real. And in the meantime, there are real elements. They took the shit out.
There is a Santa Claus.
Yeah, it was a Santa Claus moment for sports, and in the meantime, actually wrestling, they do kick the shit out of each other, but the matches are made. And when Hulk came along and everything, Jimmy Superfly Snuka, all these monsters, but Rowdy Piper, all these people before, to actually meet one of those people, because Mickey's about our age, he must have been like a major fucking fan. And
both of us were.
Yeah, major fan. Yeah,
Show me a 45-year-old male that wasn't a huge Hulkamaniac.
Yeah, I wouldn't give a fuck. But I
not now. I'm saying.
No, I wouldn't give a fuck then either. But I don't have any. I'm just now collecting sports memorabilia, NFTs and stuff, just because I think it'll be worth money. But again, I never gave a fuck. The first time I got an autograph was Joe Theismann, and I took it home and threw darts at it with my brother for
That might have been one of the first autographs I ever got too, by the way, Joe Theismann.
Theismann. He was awesome. And now that I'm older, I realize what a little prick I was. But you know, he took me back, signed a bunch of stuff, was gracious as hell, gave us a whole bunch of stuff. And the whole time I'm like, my brother's a Cowboys fan, I'm a Rams fan. We took all of his signed stuff home, put it on the dartboard because my family are all professional dart players, and we just threw darts at Joe Theismann for the next and like little fucking bastards. But Joe Theismann was awesome and very grateful.
You know, if I did that, that would have been grounds for an ass kicking from my father. He would have kicked my ass for that.
Yeah,
your dad knew Joe Theismann probably.
My dad knew Joe Theismann when he that's how we met him. Met Joe Theismann is my
Jimmy's dad too.
Yeah, and we did not respect that at all. Actually, my mother the other day, she goes, my birthday's coming up. She goes, I have, a picture I want to frame for Eric. She goes, I have this, Jazz Fest thing that we got, and then she goes, I also have this picture with Joe Biden. When I was 30 years old, Joe Biden signed this photo of himself and said, "Mary Jo, you are lovely." And everyone wanted to fuck my mother when she was 30. So
I thought you said you were going to say everyone wanted to fuck Joe Biden.
And Joe Biden too. He's a handsome man. So Joe Biden was trying to bang my mother, and he put it in writing. So you're lovely. And my mother goes, I'm afraid to give it to Eric because he'll throw darts at it. And I'm like, no, you give that to me. It's going prominently on my wall. Like, prominently. I'll keep it there with utmost respect. Joe hitting on my mother, that belongs to be like memorialized. So I said, where's that? She goes, I don't know. I know it's in the boxes. I haven't found it yet. I said, listen, here's how you find it. You don't look for it. You don't look for a Joe Biden painting. You close your eyes, open your ears, and you listen for the sound of sniffing. And because you have a weird sense of humor.
And whispering?
It was just sniffing. Sniffing. So Joe's known for sniffing little kids. So, she didn't like the joke. Some other people might not get it, but I said, he's known for really two things: saying "come on, man" and sniffing little kids in a creepy way. Those are his two.
Let me ask you a question though.
Yeah.
What the fuck are they going to do with him?
Well, his recent poll came out. He's down to 33% people that actually think he's doing a good job, which is not good. 25% of independents think he's doing a good job. This is the Quinnipiac. There's lots of polls.
I can't imagine anybody would can honestly say it's been a good job. I mean, it might be okay in some people's eyes, but how do you say, even if you look at it, I mean, I don't, the price of everything is going up, even though it's not totally his fault. He doesn't set the prices, but I mean, shit has got to get back on track. That's the bottom line. It's not going well.
Afghanistan leaving, what they said was 100 people, turned out to be 13,000. There's fucking nuns still stranded in Taliban territory. All of our allies are stranded over there. They're actively blocking our allies. They actively block nuns from getting out of Afghanistan.
Nuns on the run.
Nuns on the run.
Afghanistan. They better run fast.
Yeah, better run real fucking fast. And then
you care, but somebody like Patrick, do you care about
soldiers getting killed? And they're bitching about January 6th.
Why what?
Jimmy's cut out. Jimmy, you're
here.
Yeah, we can't hear you. So 13 soldiers got killed in Afghanistan because we let the Taliban take over before we exited, and then left them, $86 billion of equipment. Might have been a good idea not to do that. I'm just throwing it out there.
No. All right. I
Go
don't know where I lost sound for a second.
I can hear you.
I lost sound for a second. But somebody.
What were you asking me?
Okay.
Did you lose sound for a second?
Yeah, I lost. I didn't hear anything. So I'm starting over.
I know.
Fuck you. So
Can you start over and tell us if you lost sound for one more second?
Hey, did you lose sound by chance? Hey, quickly, before you start, did you lose your sound?
Not your audio. How's
Well,
your
that's-
Is your audio a little bit disrupted?
what did I say it a bunch of times or something?
He just got peppered.
No.
So what were you gonna say?
No, I'm gonna say. So
Back to your audio.
I know where.
Back to your audio troubles.
I know where you stand, but
You know where I sit.
from a very early time in Patrick's life, I've known him. And,
Yes.
And Patrick,
is a young boy.
everything I know about Patrick,
Patrick is a
I
young.
would,
Did
I
you
would
ever
s-
get him like Joe Biden would have?
everything I know about Patrick is he would be a Trump fan, and it confuses me because Patrick don't like Trump.
No, I don't like him at all. But I voted for the first time.
I don't like Trump. I mean, I'm not a Trump fan. I think Trump's full of shit.
I think Trump is, well, I don't think. What Trump is really good at is the world's greatest spokesman, seller. I mean, this guy could sell almost anything, probably.
Look what we need. Look what we need.
What do you mean what we need? Everything that we have that we're pissed off about, he brought.
Well, I feel like
Fauci, Trump brought Fauci.
Honestly, the thing is easy to say. All of these people, I really don't think any of the people in Congress or president or whatever really gives too much of a shit about me or you.
Yeah, none of
It's bottom line is they're working for whoever's sponsoring them.
Patrick brings up a great point, and let me add to this. Coronavirus kills old people. How come it hasn't killed any of the horrible old people that we hate? Like every old person that we all hate is still alive. But the coronavirus has failed all of us. Every single person that's a despicable pile of shit in media, billionaires that are doing horrible.
That's true. That's true.
Politicians, all of
Hey, what's going on here?
fuckers. Yeah. That's your tip off that this is a complete and total scam. All of these miserable sack of shits that each and every
All
one
these
of us
people that are going, but you don't.
they're all alive, and everybody else is suffering. Like what the? There's your tip that something might not be right. Not a single motherfucker you don't like from either side of the aisle has kicked the bucket. None of them.
I'll tell you. I don't have a problem with DeSantis. I think he's okay.
Yeah,
Takes a lot of shit from people, but I think some things I don't agree with. But hey, I think he does a pretty good job.
What do you not agree with DeSantis? I'm curious, but I don't want to
honestly.
Guys, stay in your own shitty state. DeSantis needs to stay here with me.
No, I think I don't even know his policy stances on everything, but I just think he seems to be carry himself as somebody who's competent, and I like the fact that he's younger. I don't think that Trump or Biden should be president at that age. I mean, why? Can't we get somebody in there who's a little younger, like in their 50s with some good experience, So I really look at it like,
I can't argue with that.
I mean, I think that he would be and I think he quite possibly could be the next president. I say that because I think that even Trump might say, hey, let me back him, be the kingmaker, and make him the guy. I don't know, but and I think he would have a good chance because he's young, he's not stupid, he's not taking orders from people. At least it seems like he kind of makes his own decisions, and I think he's done a pretty good job in Florida. So
He's done a great job in Florida, but if he runs it for a national election, they've already figured out how to rig those. And I say that because I know it, but anybody who's paid attention knows it. If you think Joe Biden won 25% less counties than Barack Obama, but was still the most popular president in terms of votes in history, you're on crack. You're a fucking retard.
Well, I honestly think Joe Biden won. I mean, I think he won the shit.
No, he
And I
didn't.
think
Honestly, there was cheating in every single place in every single way. And I could show you videos, and you could actually watch it on TV. You could actually see, because they had live vote tabulations, you could actually see plus 20 go to minus 20. I mean, the cheating was so extensive and so over.
But the cheating was that are we saying that the cheating was only in the presidential ballots? Because everybody voted on those ballots for other people too.
Yes, I am. And that's another piece of evidence that there was cheating, is that it didn't go down ballot. So right now in Georgia, they're actually having and this is happening all over the country.
Hey, Herschel Walker is going to win in Georgia.
It takes years for this stuff to work in the court. So in Georgia, they finally got all this evidence of cheating, where they had people dropping off and whistleblowers coming forth and saying, yes, I was paid to drop.
They were whistling while they worked. They weren't whistleblowers. They were whistling while they stuffed the ballots.
They were actually dropping off ballots after hours. They were caught doing it on film. So they were pulled aside. They were put under oath, put under their
underwater.
They were basically, okay, we caught you with your car dropping off ballots after time happened. So this person turned over and said, I was paid this much per ballot, and this is what happened, and there were this many other people involved. So came forward and said it. So they presented this evidence and said, okay, here's the videos of this person doing it. After it's now illegal to, voting's off, all these people systematically filled up these ballots, and then they said, hey, you're going to disenfranchise. So it's a bunch of illegal votes. Georgia was—
That's a bunch of malarkey.
By Georgia was a very— They caught Georgia being flipped. And this person was part of it. So the video evidence of that, as it went to the Raffensperger, who's in charge, has now disappeared. So they took the video evidence, much like they took the evidence from Epstein.
You know where that evidence is?
It's with Epstein's.
It is gone, Jack.
It is like
it is gone.
Here comes the pitch. Sosa winds up, and it is gone.
You ain't gonna see that shit if it.
But it was there, and now it's not. So it never happened. I mean, apparently this shit. I mean, you're right, Patrick. Nothing ever happened. Biden clearly was the most popular president in history, more popular than Obama.
The reasoning, my reasoning behind it is, and it's because, and I know a lot of people like me. They were fed up with Trump. They didn't want to see him in there again.
None of that even matters. Nobody cared about Biden.
But let's get beyond it. What? Because I gotta make some phone calls for work.
And again, you and I are on point that Trump is also a phony. So
these people are all fucking just shitting on us.
Yeah, nobody runs for politics and says, I really want to make things better for people. I really
their NASCAR jackets on with all their sponsors, so we know when they talk who they're representing,
who and how much. Today, Fauci was in yesterday when he was yelled. I guess it was yesterday. He was yelled at about where he's taking money from, and he gets real defensive. He gets, "Oh my, it's public. Everything's disclosed." Well, it's not. People have sued to get it, and they're going to release 30 pages of 1,200 pages once a month because that motherfucker is being paid. And what they did find out is that 200 people, are being kicked back money from pharmaceutical companies that are at NIH. And so basically our government is being paid, government officials are being officially paid by Big Pharma. And I'm sure that has nothing to do with how well this pandemic's been.
I got to get off in a second, Eric, because I got to make some calls.
Go
I
do
call some
Get
of
off
my favorite celebrities.
Yeah, go get going. We're gonna talk some fighting. We don't need you for that.
You don't know anything about that.
What do we have boxing wise that you're excited about?
You know, I haven't even looked at the schedule. I'm one of these guys that I can't plug dates in my head, but I will go before each week and check the schedule and try to handicap the fights. But I haven't even looked this week. I got to look.
Well,
But
there's
it should start picking up again after the Christmas holidays, where the fights kind of slow down, and I think we'll get. I really hope we get Usyk, Fury this year. That would be nice.
well, there's a lot of hypothetical fights in boxing that are amazing coming up, but none of them are really penciled in that are the big ones. But
I'd rather see Usyk Joshua rematch than I would.
I think that's what we're getting, but
nobody even really gives a fuck about that fight. I don't give a fuck about that fight.
But I don't.
I honestly, I want to see. I would really finally like to see Crawford and Spence, and so we can see Spence finally get lit up. I really believe Crawford is the better fighter.
I do too. I'll tell you why that won't happen either. Because Terrence Crawford's not a pay-per-view draw. And Terrence Crawford wants to be paid like he's a major.
Terrence Crawford isn't a pay-per-view draw because he's not whooping the shit out of good fighters that guys want to see him beat. He's fighting guys. Now, I give him credit. He's fought some guys, but he's not. None of these guys are fighting each other.
But
So you want to get some credit, fight each other.
Nobody who's promoting wants to give Terrence Crawford.
Porter's the only one.
They don't want to give Terrence Crawford the money that Terrence Crawford wants for a pay-per-view event when Terrence Crawford has not proven to be a big draw.
Those pay-per-views don't work. Let me tell you that. You saw what Jake Paul did
on pay-per-view. Yeah, 66,000.
That's a bullshit number too. It's under like 50,000.
Yeah, well, pay-per-view in general, all of these people are fucking up. They should do a subscription thing. $10 a month, you get unlimited pay-per-view. You get whatever.
You can't have 10 pay-per-views all in a row because people can afford one on their cable bill and they can't afford to keep buying pay-per-views every week.
No, and if fight fans are fans of not just boxing, they're fans of UFC, they're fans of any other. There's a million places to watch fights now. So pay-per-view is a dumb model. It could be a subscription model. And the only pay-per-view I have coming up is Ngannou versus Game, and I know you guys aren't UFC guys.
I'm gonna watch that, but that guy will get humiliated if he fights a real pro boxer.
Incorrect. Both of these guys would instantly be top 10.
Fury will knock him out in the first round.
Fury's a different ball. I'm talking about maybe top 10. Each of them would enter heavily into the top 10 boxing day one.
I don't think so. Maybe, but
no, I know so.
Wilder would decapitate him.
Wilder would be a very interesting fight for Ngannou.
I mean, he might be able to get inside the wild punches, but if he gets hit with something, that dude hits hard.
Ngannou hits harder than Wilder.
No way.
Guess what? He's 265 pounds. Wilder's 223, and Ngannou, he's tapped people. He's tapped heavyweights at the UFC. I'm talking about glancing blows, where they were afterwards said, "I don't remember anything after the fight." If he just touches in this area, you're out. He hits harder than anybody.
I gotta watch his. I watched one of his fights, the last one, I think. He is a beast, no doubt about it. In a UFC ring, he would murder them, but
he's a
boxing ring, I think it would be different.
He's literally like Conan the Barbarian in the Conan movie, where he's a guy who was working in sand mines that just has ridiculous strength and has never lifted a day in his life. All of a sudden, ran out of Africa, left a horrible situation, and became a heavyweight champion. Basically, no training. Like, that's how natural of a freak strong athlete. He's now got, I think he's got now 7 years of fighting training, and he's the heavyweight champion of the world. Like,
Yeah, it's good.
weird. Usually you train your whole life. This guy's just a ridiculously strong monster, and he's fighting Gain. Gain is barely gets touched. I think he's got like at 8-1 to 9-1. I'm gonna hit you, and somebody hits me back at the heavyweight division level. It's over his last 4 or 5 fights. He doesn't get touched. He's so fast. He's so good on his feet. He's such an amazing striker. He's so good at angles, and he's an outstanding jiu-jitsu guy. So you really have arguably the greatest heavyweight fight in history coming up next weekend and it's 2 heavyweights that after this fight with Ngannou, he's out of his UFC contract. He is almost certainly going into boxing. It's almost certain because there's more money. There's more money on an individual fight. So it's going to be fun to watch. Another thing, I know you guys again aren't huge fans. Jimmy, what do you have to say?
I gotta go, guys.
All right, brother. Have a good night.
Jimmy, love you guys.
All right, love you, Pat.
Watch yourself.
And then Colby Covington versus Mestival. So you don't care about this probably, but this is an amazing situation of 2 people that were roommates. These guys were roommates.
Don't forget to remind me about the condom.
I will. I'll remind you. They hate each other. They hate each other from roommates, and they've been able to parlay their hate of each other into being a main event of a UFC major event with no belt, just based on the hype of them hating each other for an extended period of time.
Yeah.
And that's the power of hype and hate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can literally form a rivalry without any real
Absolutely
title payoff. Still be
you just said hype and hate is
hype and hate.
The power of that is amazing. But
All right, go ahead and tell your condom story and let's shut it down.
no, because I got to tell you also what I want to see for 2022.
Okay.
I'm interested in 3 fighters in 2022.
Fire.
Gervonta Davis.
Yep.
And the Charlotte twins. I want to see them either move or go away. I really want to like all 3 of these guys, but it's time. You guys got to go.
Piss or get off the pot. Did you see who called out Charla?
No.
My mind is shit. Who got knocked out by fucking the Mexican, the best fighter in the world, right? That Canelo.
I'm fucking brain dead. Plant.
Okay, so Plant called out Charlo and said, "Easy work, let's get it done." Great call out. I think that'd be a great fight. Plant
That would get me off of Charlo's ass.
Yeah, me too. Like that. That's a real fight. Plant's a real opponent, and that would be amazing.
Plant is beatable, but Plant can also beat him. That's a dangerous fight.
It is. I would go with Plant over Charlo. Personally, I think Charlo's already lost. Although I don't know which one lost.
If I was going to bet, I'd have to bet on Plant for that fight.
So what's your goal for what else you got? What other fighters are you watching for this year?
I want to see Gervonta Davis. I want to see how he's moved, and I think it's time for him too to make a move.
Davis is the best switch hitting fighter alive today. He switches from right to left to right, better than anyone currently on a major level. It'll be interesting to watch what he does. He's probably the fighter that people least want to fight. Yeah. I think he probably has a hard time getting fighters to get get excited about him.
That's a legit problem for moving slow, you know, for stalling or whatever.
Yep.
But
And
I've been real impressed, and then I've been de-impressed by how careful they're being, it seems.
yeah, he's a fighter that can do some things at this level. Who else you like?
I think that the Ukrainian's going to come storming back.
You think?
No, the little guy that moves. Matrix. You know what I'm talking. They call him the Matrix.
Oh, dude, I don't know anybody's nicknames. What do I look like? Some.
He's from another country. You know the guy that Tiafimo beat. The guy that Tiafimo beat.
The Teofimo beat. Not
Come on, he's
Lomachenko.
Lomachenko. I think he's going to have a big year.
Nobody wants to fight him either. Yeah, nobody wants to sign a contract with him.
He was too. He's been to the top. They can't deny him.
Nobody wants to fight him to a fault because he was on there. He was on the other day talking about, hey, nobody wants to sign a contract with me. Nobody wants to sign a contract with him, and you can see it too. I mean, who would have anything to gain from a Lomachenko fight except for Teofimo?
So, yeah.
I mean, Teofimo would be a perfect fighter, but I think right now Teo's like going, hey, I don't want to take that risk right now in my career to have 2 losses in a row. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we'll see, man. It's going to be a fun year of fighting, but yeah, I got something I got to do right now. I love you to pieces. Have a good night, brother. All right, bye.